Hey everyone, it's Kat
and Amber,
and we are
Wandering Soup, Black Lesbian Expats.
And y'all, we were looking online today because we're a little bit ahead of y'all, and they said it was National Coffee Day.
Woo!
And we had to get in on this because, baby, when I tell you we is some coffee stands over here, we will plan our whole day around a cup of coffee, and I'm not exaggerating. If we had a good cup of coffee somewhere, we will make sure we get back to it, even if it's 30 minutes away from where we are at. We'd be like, okay, today we're going to go get coffee at so-and-so.
Yes.
And we feel nothing's wrong with that.
No, we are totally about that coffee life. As a matter of fact, our logo looks, for Wandering Soup, looks like a soup bowl, but on the low, it's really a coffee cup. Like,
yeah.
On the real.
Yeah, I had to stop myself. I was drinking 6, 7, 8 cups of coffee a day and wondering why I couldn't sleep. I don't really think the caffeine affects me that much.
That's
anymore.
what she says. So,
But anyway, this is my my third cup today.
Yeah, we've already been out for coffee.
Right, and working. So, but we had to get in on this coffee shop, National Coffee Shop, and we wanted to talk about our coffee shop experience on the road because we've been traveling. And Southeast Asia has probably the best coffee shop culture. Well, not the best, but the
biggest.
The biggest, yeah. Just because the number of coffee shops that we've experienced. We had great coffee in Spain and in Greece. But, just the sheer number of coffee shops can't be beat over here, I don't think.
Right.
So, let's get into it. So, let's talk about the best coffee that we've ever had. And this is we always debate this. Mainly because we've had some crappy coffee. I love coffee, but let's be honest, all coffee is not equal.
No, most of your life, unfortunately, is going to be spent taking in bad coffee. I hate to say it, but it's those moments of those precious moments of the amazing coffee that matters. That's what defines our life, I feel like.
Right. When you get that one good cup, you're like, oh my God, This is what we live for. And it's not food. It's just the golden nectar of coffee. The dark chocolate robustness of it all. Anyway, best coffee for me, probably, I'm going to go with Greece.
Yeah. I have to agree with you.
Yeah, so far.
I still think about that coffee.
Yeah, it's strong. Don't get me wrong. Now, if you just want a pure cup of coffee, Greece is probably, so far in our travels, it's got to be Greece.
Yeah, I think it's that area of the world. I think it's that Mediterranean style of coffee.
How they process it.
Yeah, and even it's the silty coffees, the coffee that has the silt on the bottom.
Yes, the grounds are still gonna be in there, and it's coarse a little bit, and a little bit of it's gonna get in you, and you're gonna be like, ooh. You don't need a lot of cup of coffee there. One good cup a day to start you out, maybe another midday or so. And you're good.
Right.
It's good. It's strong though.
It goes well with food though, I think. I really think that some cultures do very well with pairing coffee and food. Yep. And I really think that's one of them. So
yeah, because coffee has undertones, it has notes. It's not just coffee. Yeah. Right. Now if you drink Folgers instant, this conversation is probably not for you.
We're not, snobs or anything, but
I am. Exactly. So let's get into worst coffee. We've had some bad coffee on this trip, and it's so funny because we've had some good coffee. But you can have good coffee at a place and come back and then they have the worst cup of coffee. It's just like whoever's manning the machine, baby, if they left the day, almost. But collectively, for me, no, you go first since I went first, homie.
Oh, well. I don't know. I don't remember the coffee in Singapore, really, which to me probably tells me that it wasn't great if I don't remember it. But then again, it must not have been that awful either if I don't remember it. So
I don't remember ordering it a lot.
Yeah, so it probably wasn't anything outstanding either. We remember. But anyway, because I have had so much coffee here in Vietnam and only a small portion of it has been worthy of my conversation, I'm gonna say Vietnam.
Yeah,
it's been the worst.
And I gotta agree. And no offense to anybody in Vietnam, there's coffee shops like literally every 50 feet. There's a coffee shop, it seems like. Yeah. You cannot go on the street in the city and there not be a coffee shop of some sort. But that doesn't necessarily equate to good coffee. There's different methods of brewing. There's different coffees. The most popular one, of course, is the Vietnamese Phin, which we have here, which we absolutely freaking love. And we're going to drop a link to that below. But
we've made some good coffee. Just with that. We've made some in Vietnam. So I have to say,
but you have to buy your coffee. You have to look for it. Right. And we've had to taste test several local Vietnamese coffee, and it's just not that great. And so it sort of explains why the coffee in the coffee shops is hit and miss. You know, it's either cold, it's weak, or it's way too strong, or it's just not good. Speaking
of that, cold brew versus hot coffee, because since we've been traveling in Southeast Asia, you can drink hot coffee, but it's really not what you want. And I think that we've talked about this is that it's so hot here that the emphasis is not on hot coffee, because you will drink it and then you will literally go outside and pass out or think you're going to. So really, cold coffee is the thing, cold brew, and turns out to be the better coffee, I think.
It's because it's cold.
I think it also tastes better.
I like cold because it gets to sit.
Yeah.
And it gets to grow a little bit. You know, the notes come out more. Now, Vietnamese coffee, which is iced coffee and condensed milk over ice, it's fantastic, honey. If you are in Vietnam or you're in your kitchen right now, go get you some good coffee, get you some ice, and get you some condensed milk. Mix, stir, and sip, and you will have a fantastic day.
And we have a video.
That's DeLongo.
Well, still, that's a coffee.
Yeah.
A cold coffee.
Yeah, but it's not the Vietnamese coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Korean coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but yeah, do the Vietnamese iced coffee if you want to experience a good iced coffee over here. And you're right, the cold brew is really good.
I think the cold coffee in here is where it's at. That's not word on me.
Right. But if you want some good hot coffee, you can find it here. You just gonna have to go to a lot of shops to get it. And we've been to a lot of shops in Vietnam. A lot. So now we're gonna get into when we go to different coffee shops for different reasons, right? We go to some coffee shops just to work. We go to some coffee shops to have a good cup of coffee and to socialize, and some we do a little bit of both, right? So, best coffee shop for just coffee on our travels so far. What are you?
Oh, so far.
Right.
Best coffee.
Just for coffee.
I have to admit that I really enjoyed Brown in Cambodia. And I know that's not everybody's favorite among us, our family, but because I liked eating there too. I go for the food too.
But it's just for coffee. That's the whole criteria. Just for coffee.
I thought the coffee was good. They had different kinds of coffee. They always had the usual espresso and latte and all that. And the espresso was good, but they also had my French press, and it was always really nice. And I pretty much got the same thing every time I went, but it was consistent.
Okay. So. And this is why we agree and she's not agreeing that we're agreeing, because I said the exact same thing. But she's convinced herself that I've said the exact opposite. If I'm going just for a cup of coffee and I want to leave with that cup of coffee, or I just want to sit and sip on that cup of coffee, I would definitely choose Brown in Cambodia. Siem Reap, Cambodia, there's a slew of them. I think it's at least 3 locations. And there was one in particular we went to quite a bit. Loved them. The baristas were professional. Great customer service. You could always count on a good cup of coffee. And the reason why I think the coffee was so good there, because I always get either cappuccinos or lattes, is because they don't use a lot of milk. You can get a plain cup of coffee, don't get me wrong, with just coffee or Americano or espresso. But if you want a cappuccino or a latte, a lot of places give you mugs like this. And honestly, you need about half of this for a good latte or a good cappuccino, in my mind. Otherwise, I just think you're getting hot milk.
Right.
And I don't want hot milk. I want a good shot of espresso with a little bit of milk to make it just sweet going down. That's all I want. And Brown's cups were smaller than everybody else. Like Gloria Jean's, man, you get like a mug. I mean, it's freaking big. It's just a cup of warm milk. Or all the coffee shops, they felt like bigger is better. Bigger is not better. If they give you a big mug like this, turn around and walk away. It's not worth it. You can go get some milk at the house. You know, you don't pay $4 for a cup of warm milk. It's just not worth it. See?
I have to say that the Molly had good coffee. It was a restaurant in Siem Reap, not a coffee shop. But their coffee was definitely...
because it was small cups.
Yeah.
Definitely. The smaller the cup, the better the cup of coffee. All right, so best coffee shop for work and coffee.
Probably, I mean, Brown is close, but as far as comfort and all of that, probably Gloria Jean's. The coffee wasn't good, but the workspace was good for me. It was a really good workspace. It was bright in there, big windows. We always had room, it seemed like. We didn't feel, like we were cramped up against people, which was nice. So yeah, I had to go with Gloria Jean.
Gloria Jean was a close second for me, but the only reason why I didn't go first for me is because the coffee sucked. And that's just it. You could get a good lemon iced tea there or something like that, but coffee-wise, nah, I wouldn't go to Gloria Jean's. So my pick was Biolab in Siem Reap. And you're probably going, why are you guys' favorite choices all in Cambodia? Because Cambodia really worked on their coffee shops and making sure that they were one-stop locations, meaning there's full food menus, there's full coffee menus, there's full tea menus, and the spaces are big.
Yeah.
You can actually sit down with your laptop and you can work. There's plugins, there's good Wi-Fi. They really worked on making sure that you didn't have to leave their location once you settled in.
Absolutely.
A lot of places, especially in Vietnam, you can go and just sit and get a cup of coffee, and that's it. There's no AC, the doors are wide open, if there are any walls, and you're just going to sit there. And that's okay, but not for me. I need some AC, because I'm most of the time if I'm going out to the coffee shop, I'm working. So to me, those things were, come into play and stuff like that. If I want a cup of coffee to go, I'm probably just going to go get it and come back home.
Yeah, I think the ones here are meant more for socializing, which, I mean, we're not doing a whole lot of that, so it's not as, imperative for us, or it's not as high on our priority list as far as coffee shops go, but they're good for that. You just want to sit, even if you want to sit outside, and sit and talk to people. The coffee shops here are really good for that.
An exception to that is Bread and Salt in Da Nang, Vietnam, which was actually pretty decent coffee.
Yeah.
Good food. You could work there. You had to get there early because those spots were gone. And the AC was, fair to middling.
Right.
As they say in the South, middling. Because, they could have turned it up a little bit. Yeah, but it's hot, and I get it. You don't want your electric bill to be $50,000. But still, it could have been up a little bit cooler. If you read this or you see this Bread and Salt, turn the AC up a little bit, baby. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you.
The donuts were good.
Yeah. I had good breakfast there. Had good coffee there. Coffee was, one day it'd be great, next day it'd be hit and miss. So, again, it's the coffee love. Gotta get it. Gotta get a good barista. And Brown just had some good baristas. All right, so best coffee shops for socializing. I'm going to have to give it to Vietnam. Because if you want to socialize, this is the place to socialize. Only because there's so many coffee shops, and you can spill out into the sidewalk. And they have those little chairs sitting outside, and the kids seem to love it. There's always young folks around, and old folks as well. And they just sit out there with their cup of coffee, their cell phones, and their little circles of friends. And it just seems so freaking sociable.
That's true. It's real cool. But I'm gonna inch in there and say that I think Temple in Siem Reap was the jump off spot. I'm sorry. I mean, we didn't always enjoy it because we lived right next to it for a time. And at night it gets really loud. It turns into a club basically, and there's a rooftop and there's a pool on top and all that on one of the locations. There's more than one temple, but yeah, I mean, even in the middle of the day there were people in there who could have been working. They might have been sleeping, they might have had their feet up, chilling
That's
on
every
the
coffee
phone.
shop.
Right. And then later on in the afternoon, you get the slew of kids coming in from school. You'd have groups of kids sitting, and at one point we were sitting next to like a table full of kids eating, I think, bingsu or something, sharing, and they were having a good old time. We were working, we were trying to work, but they were having a ball. So I really enjoyed Temple just because of the energy and the laid back atmosphere for socializing.
Yeah, and they had decent food, not great, decent food.
Yeah.
Coffee was hit and miss sometimes, but we ordered there quite a bit. To-go coffee was better because the cups are smaller, and again, that hot milk ratio. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, quit coffee shops. We don't need a coffee cup this big. Nobody does. So we've had some good coffee.
Yeah.
And this is actually one of our favorite brands that we've had in Vietnam so far. They go up 1 through, I think, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Amber likes 3. I like 2. We tried the 4. It's a little heavy. So 3 is a good middle. But I like the 2. And again, the Vietnamese Phin, which we absolutely love. So, but anyway, coffee, National Coffee Day. We are coffee fans.
Yes.
We absolutely love it. We also love Nespresso. I love Nespresso. We had an espresso machine in Cambodia, and we had one in Malaysia. We couldn't bring it with us on our journey, but if I could, I would go back and pick it up.
She would have left one of us to take it if she could have. Trust me.
Because Nespresso makes a really good pod coffee. Really surprised. Way better than Keurig. Keurig, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened to Keurig. But that Nespresso, they have so many different flavors. You know, they had an espresso store in Malaysia where they actually had an espresso class.
It's nice. You could go in there and taste your little coffee. You
can taste any of the coffees.
Such good.
And they will actually brew it for you, make you a cup of coffee in an espresso store in Malaysia. Baby, when I tell you, that was a good day. And they were free. They were free. The free. But yeah, so we are coffee snobs. We are coffee aficionados. We love coffee. We're looking forward to the coffee in Mexico. Please, if you are in that area, Merida, Oaxaca, all those places we're going to be visiting in Mexico, throw some links. Tell us where to go. Find that great cup of joe, that great working space, co-working space rather. And actually we went today to a good co-working space.
Oh yeah.
Work Cafe.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely will be going back to that.
Yeah, WOR .cafe in Vietnam. They have an interesting format there. You can pay by the hour, by the day, by the week for basically a spot. There's endless coffee if you pick to pay by the day, and it's coffee and tea, or you can just buy individual cups of coffee. 1 cup of coffee gets you 2 hours.
Yes.
In that spot, and that's with AC and internet. Bathrooms and stuff. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
They don't have food, but you can order in, which a lot of places do not allow. So that was a good fact. That was a good thing for us.
Yeah.
So we went and ordered some food, and we sat there and ate and worked for a couple hours, and then we came on back home to talk about the National Coffee Day.
More coffee.
That's right. Oh, and I love coffee so much that I started a coffee page on Instagram. Feel free to follow me. It's Sipping the Day Away. Yep, Sipping the Day Away on Instagram. Find me, follow me. And I share pictures of beautiful, beautiful cups of coffee. Because life is coffee.
Yes.
I am Kat.
And Amber.
And we are Wandering Soup. We'll see you on the next video, y'all. Peace and love.
Peace.